This is your best year yet. Now, I declare that that would be my phrase in its entirety for the year. Now, that's different from me having a word for the year, but I declare that this is your best year yet would be my phrase for the year. I would use it to share with my audience and to express the energy that I am personally resting in. This is your best year yet. And of course, have you noticed that when you say a thing, it seems like everyone else is also saying the same thing? And that could be for a few reasons because this is your best year yet has an energy, right? And it simply could mean that there are other people who are on that vibration, or it could mean if you're sharing a particular thing with your audience that it is activating them to be in the same energy. And they may find themselves saying the thing, which is a beautiful thing. But I want to talk about your best year yet. For those of you, you're an entrepreneur and you just know you've already said, this is my year. This year right here, this is my year. And I'm saying this is your best year yet. If that's you, if you're in that energy and you're a business owner, what needs to happen in your business for it to be your best year yet? Because I want us to be mindful of not only saying cliche phrases and statements that match the trend or what everyone else is saying. I want us to make sure that we're embodying what it is that we're saying. And so, one of the first thoughts I want you to step into as a business owner is what needs to happen in my business for it to be my best year yet? Do you need new systems in your business? Listen, your systems are your containers for all of your creativity and all of the ideas and all of the movement that you plan on making in your business so that you're not all over the place. Your systems are the things that allow you to hire really well, to maintain a good staff, to have a client attraction system. System are things that you repeatedly do that you continue to tweak and perfect over time that actually keep your business afloat, keep your business thriving, and keep your business in the place where it's continuously maybe getting new customers. That would be in your client attraction system. What new systems do I need to have in my business is a question you want to ask yourself if this is going to be your best year yet, because that means even if last year was a really good year for you, if this is going to be your best year yet, then it's going to be even better than last year, meaning you can't do all of the same things and expect new results. So, what new systems are you going to have in your business if this is actually going to be your best year yet? If this is not just a catchphrase that you're saying, if you've truly embodied the this is my best year yet energy. Secondly, leadership essentials. There are some essential things you're going to have to do this year in your business as it relates to your business in the area of leadership if this is actually going to be your best year yet. I was watching a young lady online and she's been kind of giving the behind the scenes of her business. And I think she may be in her $2, $3 million range per year in her business. And I'm sharing that amount because even at that level, there are always problems that need solving. There are always solutions that you may have that can help other people, regardless of what income level they are in. I remember when I got my first client whose business earns $1 million, my thought was, when they shared, where their revenue range was. Now, I had already started helping them prior to that point because what I was helping them on in that moment didn't require me to know what they were earning in their business because this was a whole nother business. But when I began giving strategy for this new business and it comes up that they're earning $1 million, I had to catch myself from feeling like, well, why are they? And then I just stopped short because we can think that thought, and I didn't finish that statement. Why are they coming to me if they're earning so much? But it's because the problem that you solve has a lot of value. It does big things. And I was able to bless them tremendously. One of my superpowers is systems. And one of the things I understand is that really high earners can get to the space of earning high income and not have systems in place. And so oftentimes they're coming to me because they feel burned out or they're exhausted or the ways that they've been doing things is no longer working for them. They can't continue to operate in that space. And so as I'm listening to this company that's making $2 to $3 million a year, they were doing a launch, and their staff was responsible for creating some of the content for their for marketing. So they were running some Facebook ads, and they had a funnel. And I remember specifically this particular leader, which is why I'm not calling any names, telling her staff to remove something from the funnel in one of another video I'd heard. And I remembered this specifically because she was talking about this funnel thing and really frustrated with them that they did not have something that she wanted them to have in the funnel they were running. And I remembered, I said, I remember her asking them to remove that in something I heard her talking about before, because she does a lot of behind the scenes of her business. And I was like, does she realize that although she may be upset with them for leaving that out of this new funnel, because she wasn't specific, because she didn't give them detailed information, they dropped the ball. And this is why I'm mentioning this under leadership essentials, because oftentimes when you have a staff, you have to have systems in place that are going to help keep them in alignment. I'm going to give you an example. A few of the things that I created when I had a brick and mortar business, where when we were fully staffed, I had 12 staff members, oftentimes anywhere from 9 to 12 staff members. And when we were full, which was most of the time fully staffed, it was 12. And so I created systems, I created policies and procedures. They knew day in and day out, if I hadn't assigned new tasks, if we weren't working on a new project, they had specific things that they did daily. And I realized that was needed over time because I knew I did not want to have to babysit. And so many of the struggles I hear from some entrepreneurs about hiring is that they're continuously having to tell their staff what to do. Well, that comes from one of two things. Number one, the staff is not being trained properly. So I created a complete training program for my staff. It was a 40-hour training program, which took relatively 2 weeks based on how often the people worked to fulfill that training program. But I created a training program so that I wasn't constantly having to tell staff what to do, right? So many CEOs are frustrated with staff because the staff hasn't been trained properly. Or number two, they don't have repeatable systems that staff can do so that they'll know people are going to venture off and do all kinds of things if there isn't some type of structure. Now, I loved when I had a full staff, I loved for them to operate in their creative gifts, right? That was the feminine energy that I allowed to be present in my business. But the structures that I had, like systems and certain dates that things were due, those were the containers for all of the feminine energy I wanted them to exert. And I wanted them to have created creative authority in a lot of the things that they did because I hired them because of their unique gifts that I could see, if that makes sense. But many owners are missing proper training, and oftentimes that's because they're so overwhelmed and consumed with things, they don't take out the proper time to train the staff. And number two, then having systems for them to operate in that will still allow them to flow in their gifts. And so this was something I noticed in the behind the scenes that this company earning about 3 million were dropping the ball as the leader, right? They were so upset with their staff, but I immediately was able to define that that was a leadership issue. And so, what leadership essentials will you need to do differently in your business this year so that this will be your best year yet? Is it, do you need to develop a great team? Maybe you've hired people out of desperation, right? I know when I very first started hiring that first year, I remember saying to myself, where do these people come from? These people don't want to work. I was saying those things to myself, never to my staff, right? And then one day I had this aha moment, this download that said, you hired these people that you keep talking about. You hired these people. And I set out to create the most amazing hiring system. I really took time to focus on hiring. And when I did, I had my best staff ever. Like, as I continue to grow my business, I've already created positions that if these people are available, those will be the people that I would hire again, right? I just simply had my best staff. I was actually at my kitchen sink earlier today thinking about this one individual who I intend to connect with in the near future for that very reason. And so, do you need to develop a great team? I want us to get in the habit of not just saying something and not like detailing it out, not figuring out what that looks like. What needs to happen for you to have your best year yet? Maybe it's your hiring system, right? Maybe you need a new hiring system. If so, I am your girl. Like, I have the most amazing. Not just saying something and not like detailing it out, not figuring out what that looks like. What needs to happen for you to have your best year yet? Maybe it's your hiring system, right? Maybe you need a new hiring system. If so, I am your girl. Like, I have the most amazing system for hiring, and I actually coach clients through that system. It's a 3 month private opportunity. And this actually started with my own hiring system that I use, that I shared with someone whose business was earning, I think, like 140,000 a month. They were $1 million earners, and it more than doubled after this hiring system. They shared with me that they were having some issues with staff, and I gave them my hiring system. And it's crazy because I gave it to them for free. I had a business. I was coaching and consulting for free because I really didn't even know that it was a thing at that time. I just knew a lot of people were coming to me who had businesses, who needed advice, and I was giving it to them. And so, actually, coaching and consulting found me, right? Something I was already doing. I heard consulting in my prayer time. I didn't even bother to look into it because I was like, what does consulting have to do with me? And 2 years later, when I began researching it, I'm like, oh my goodness, I've been doing this all the time. I didn't realize that it was a monetizable thing. So maybe it's your hiring system that you need to tweak or work on, or even to create, right? If so, you need to holler at your girl, right? I have the most amazing, hands down, hiring system that works across the board for numerous industries. But is that the area that you need to focus on in order to have your best year yet? Um, Maybe it's your old routine. Maybe there are things within your old routine that just won't work in order for you to have your best year yet. I encourage you to do a couple things. Number one, stop being vague, which is the bulk of what I'm saying here. Don't just use a catchphrase. What does that look like for you? What are some things that you need to do in your personal life in order for you to have your best year yet? In your finances, in your social and cultural life, in your emotional well-being aspects of your life. What does that look like, right? What is it going to take for you to have your best year yet? Yes, you definitely need to speak that. You definitely need to put that in the atmosphere. You definitely need to decree and declare things and call things in and say your affirmations and get in the conscious realm of what you're desiring to call in, to get in the mindset so that you are a match for what it is that you desire. But this is what happens when you're conscious and your mindset begin to match what you desire. The actions that are required, they happen naturally. When you are in alignment mentally, emotionally, all of that, the actions happen naturally. There's not um, this feeling of resistance. It's like this natural thing for you to do the right thing that's going to create your best year yet. That is my take on today for you. This is your best year yet. And I don't know if you can feel this energy. I'll interject and just say this. I've had so much favor already at the beginning of the year. I mean, like, so much favor. And I'm planning on, number one, activating my clients, right? With the same energy, the same frequency. But I'm also going to have the same measure of favor, if not more, throughout the entire rest of the year. And I love the opportunity to connect with you on another level. I love the opportunity to support you in your business endeavors, whatever they may look like, whether it's creating systems, a hiring system. I am the branding girl. I'm not talking about your logos, your websites, or your pretty pictures. I'm talking about the DNA of your brand, which is the process, the transformation by which you show your gifts to the world or you work with clients. It's who you are, it's how you show up, it's all the things, right? That's what I'm talking about when I say your brand, helping you uncover what your brand DNA is, not your website, not your logos, not your pretty pictures. Those things are important, but they're not the totality. They aren't even really considered your brand. Those are collateral things. Hear me on that. That's collateral things. Your brand is something much, much deeper. And you guys know I love to go deep, right? And so if you are looking for measures of support, I would love to help you. You can always connect with me on my website, renewfulcircle.com. I am doing something really special for the end of April. For only about 12 people, I'm having an in-person intensive. It's going to be amazing, really beautiful location as well. And I'm going to share more of that with you as time moves on. But if you're interested, before I share it with the public, you can always um, what would I have you put in the comments? Put teach. Put the word teach in the comments if you want to know more about it. If there's a possibility that you'd love to be included, I'll share that with you before I share it with the public. It is going to be limited, very small, intimate setting, but it's going to be powerful. Anyway, I have some amazing things um, up my sleeve for you, my perfect people. I look forward to hearing from you, speaking with you, sending energy out into the space, into your ear gates and your heart gates as we convene again next week. That's my take. Peace and abundance.